So you can see why I wanted to get to this stuff and get past the long patterns. The long patterns are important. There's 3 challenges with the long patterns. 1, doing the long patterns. We haven't really covered them in depth and mastered them, right? 2, doing the long patterns in different keys, not just shapes, not just different shapes. Okay, you can do the 5 shapes in any one key. So that's a good way to practice the long patterns. Just use a capo. So you can use a capo to practice the long patterns in your favorite keys, right? But the 3rd challenge of long patterns is to learn the long pattern pentatonics. And another part about long patterns that isn't a challenge, it's just something that's worthy of mention, and that is to look at, let's look at the long pattern embedded with the S4L, I suppose it'd be. I have it around here somewhere. It is. There it is. I've been working on this. So this got a long pattern stack fret nut open. Okay, so this is at the end of the line. The fret nut at this point, my friends, will be pretty much here. All right, this will be the fret nut or the capo. And you can do these. Now, the reason why I stuck another one on top of here, and here we have more than 6 strings, is because, hey, what if I wanted to do it in B? If I wanted to do it in B, we'd have to go 4 to 4 here. So we kind of do need all this, right? Long patterns give you that B. I just didn't, you know, I was trying to work with the key of cage, C-A-G-E-D, because you can do a B, you know, you could pretty much do a B in A shape, because the next shape up from C shape, which you can't get the C shape from the capo, but you can get it from here. So this is the 4th thing to keep in mind about the long pattern, is that in between long patterns there's an S4L, just a brick house pattern right there. Okay, so in between the long patterns you have an S4L like this. You come out of it 5, 6 to A goes to E shape, 5th of A, these are in 5ths, 5th of E in string shapes is C, 5th of C is G, 5th of G is D. So anytime you don't know where to go for sure, you just go a 5th up, or you go a 4th up if you're going down. So 4th of A is D, 4th of D is G, 4th of G is C, the 4th of C is F, but we go to E in the cage circle, and E goes to A, the 4th of A is D, 4th of D is G. So whenever you're hard up for, you know, what pattern to play, just think of the string shape. But we are in good shape for starting our patterns with our pattern circle, magic circle. Okay, so we're back. So we're almost done. We're at the top of the hour now. And what do we have here? Today's chart. Okay, not only do we have our new magic stack, it tells us where to start. So let's say I want to do an E shape. I want to do an E shape, right? E. All right, I know E is an S4L, so it's S4L right there. Now what happens with E? It's an S4L, but then it goes into an A and an E. Now the E part's easy because it's just a repeat of the string shape of the cage that you're in. So right here, this E up here, let's look at it. So we do an S4L, we know the top string, so the only thing to remember about the E shape is there's an A on top of it. Okay, so that's a little difficult, you know. So that's one thing to remember. So, you know, try to think about what string shapes are actually in the patterns, so that you know that you're on a D shape here. Now if I'm on a D shape down here, I can see in the key of C, D, E, F. Well, I know that's a D shape because the D shape's the only one that takes you to the 4th. But in the key of E, it may be less obvious. So, you know, it takes a little, there's a few special cases, but for the most part, we've got a system here. And if we start with A, Right here, we start with the A shape, single shape, and then from there we go into an S4L. Repeat of the first string. A goes down to now an S2L. That's nice. Okay, that S2L goes to an S3L, and then we just repeat the bottom string as top of the pattern there. Which means that, let's look, okay, C is easy. C is just an S2L, an S3L, and repeat the top string, just like that. Okay, that's C. A is what we just played. G, we're gonna do down here according to this. G is just a G string shape like this. Okay, and an S5L. But believe it or not, this starts on an S5L here. This is from a keyboard underneath. So this is not part of the G shape. It's the top string of the keyboard underneath it. So our G shape, my bad there, you know, our G shape this is our G shape. It doesn't include this. The G shape starts right with the S5L. So G shape C, here's the pentatonic. We're going to start that S5L. Repeat that top string, bottom string. Okay, so remember the S5L is just whole, half, whole, half, whole, half, whole, half, whole. That's the S5L. That's why I made the S5L, because it's an easy pattern. Remember our S5L right here. This is a new pattern. It's a 7L shaped pattern. It's got a nice 7L shape to it. Okay? Remember, these are no plays. They're really not part of the action of the pattern. Remember, this is all P4, so you'd have to warp it with the tuning warp. And you're going to hit the tuning warp with the S5L for sure. At least the top string. So when we're doing this, the G shape, we just use the S5L. It's going to get us all the way up to the 5th string. We're going to warp that 5th string over, and on top of it, we're going to put a G string. So that's the S5L. Alright, before I forget and we run out of time, we're going to talk about the modes. Modal scale shapes to play along with the diatonic scales. All modal triad arpeggios fit into the cage shape pentatonics, and in turn all cage shape pentatonics fit into each cage shape diatonic scale. Think about that. Which means no matter what shape I play, it's going to fit into the diatonic. It may not fit into the pentatonic, but it'll fit into a pentatonic, but that has to be the relative pentatonic or the pentatonic itself. In other words, if I'm playing an F pentatonic in the E shape, that's going to fit into the diatonic for the parent key of that E shape F, which if it's the 4th, it's going to be. So this includes, that's very powerful, because it means we can play minor chords and just do the diatonic. Something like that. We're out of time. Hey, it's been great covering this lesson. We're going to do more on this subject tomorrow and the next day. Click the link for the put together for the Facebook group, and have a great day. It's been a pleasure teaching you today, and we'll have more fun next time, next lesson.